Good afternoon. I see all young minds who are really, I think of, I don't say like future leaders, but I think the change makers of today. So firstly, I would like to thank TEDxBhrikutimandap for inviting me as one of the speakers. And I think my topic, because I'm from the entrepreneurship sector, business sector, so I think I'm going to speak about how to develop the career, because I think you all are young and then you all are heading for some kind of career. So I think this is a very right time that I'm here, and I'm very happy to share my experience, how from a little girl to I reached to that position, that I could lead the private sector of Nepal. For the first time in Nepal, the lady could lead that, So I'd like to share some of my dreams also. Thank TEDxBhrikutimandap for inviting me as one of the speakers and to motivate all the younger generation, I believe, on entrepreneurship and their career and all. So I'm very happy to be here and share some of my experience with you all, my failures, my challenges, and then I think the achievement, what I've made and all, So I feel very happy to be here today. I always say that you people are the change makers, because we've seen in the past also, how younger mind can change the world, change the country, change the society. And I think because of this, young mind movement, now we are dreaming of New Nepal also. Let me start by requesting you all to just shut your eyes for a moment and then think of where would you be after 20 years? तपाईहरु 20 वर्षपछि कहाँ हुनुहुन्छ? What are your dreams? Maybe whatever you are dreaming. I'm sure being youngsters and all, you must be having a dream. So if you just shut your eyes and then think, 20 years मा तपाईहरु कहाँ पुग्नुहुन्छ भनेर, just for a moment. Now you can open the eyes. So I feel that तपाईहरुले जुन whatever you are thinking, I'm sure that you all must be having dreams, I'm going to be a doctor or an engineer or a teacher or maybe a businesswoman or maybe a IT expert, or maybe a politician also, because a lot of youngsters are joining politics also. So do you feel that, do you आँखा बन्द गर्दाखेरि, do you feel that you'll be able to reach that goal or not? Do you have that courage? Can you pursue your dream? So I think these are all the questions and what we have in our mind. I'm sure you all are having that in your mind, because as a young girl, I always had that kind of feeling, So of course, मेरो बेलामा त everyone, your parents, of course, they would say you become a doctor or an engineer or maybe a teacher also, So my mother also always wanted me to become a doctor or an engineer. So I was not very good in my studies. I was an average student, and then I studied in Kathmandu, St. Mary's School. Then after that, I went to India. So during that time, I had a different dream, So I always felt that I want to do something different. Not like doctor, engineer, teacher, or that, traditional work, as a woman. But I always had a dream that I could change the society. I could do something that people, the youngsters, could follow me, So I was a little confused also, but my mother always told me that whatever career you choose, timi doctor bana, engineer bana, whatever, but don't get married after class 10, You have to do something, because Nepalko women haruko लागि चाहिँ, it's very, very important that you control over your own finance, so being an economically independent person is very important in Nepal. So that thing was in my mind. So I started, after my school, I went to college, but I was always thinking of, I have to do something, कि कमाउनु पर्छ, दुई पैसा हुनु पर्छ as a woman भनेर त्यो thinking थियो. So even during my college days in India, with my friends and all, all, what I used to do, like buy stuff. त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ कस्तो थियो भने you couldn't buy jeans also, you couldn't buy like foreign stuff in India, so friends-हरुलाई चाहिँ यहाँबाट किनेर you could sell it, like something like income जस्तो हुन्छ भनेर. So that thing was always in my mind and all. So after that, of course, I joined, I got married and I joined chambers also, like Chamber of Commerce, Udyog Banijya Sanghharu, So women issues ma pani I really worked for a long time, women rights ko lagi. So when I'm talking about like 30 years back, so women's right भन्ने कुरा पनि थिएन. Like when I used to, like I've worked in grassroots level also in different parts of Nepal. So त्यहाँ जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ womenहरू, they used to think that this is my faith, like they were suffering from domestic violence, trafficking, a lot of other issues and all. But like we worked very hard to convince them, and there were a lot of other NGOs, like even Sapna Malla Pradhan was there, like she was doing a lot of things on Kanun, but women or rights ko lagi. So we all were working from Sathi organization and all. So I think after certain time, like they were quite aware about their rights, but still, like I think it was very, very difficult for them to get out from that situation and start a new life. Kina bhanda chai economically they were not empowered. So I think that is very, very important. So to lead your dream, to lead your career, I think first thing in your life, in your within you, you need to have a dream. So, but I always say dream big, okay? Unless you dream big, it won't be fulfilled. So dream which doesn't scare you is not a dream, I say. So I think you have to dream. Even a woman, even a man, everyone, your youngsters should have a dream. Then only you can follow your dream and lead your career. So I think I also had a dream to do something different in the society. So that's why I think I followed my dream. And I got a lot of distractions also during that time, So I was a member of FNCCI, and I thought like maybe one day I would become a president of this organization and I'll create a history, So other women can also follow me and all. Because till 50 years in FNCCI, only men are lead gareko. Always men are, they were the president. So then I said, no, I'm a member. It's very, very difficult in this patriarchal culture, but I have a dream to lead that institution as a president and create history in Nepal, So I worked for my dream. Of course, there were a lot of obstacles also. There was a lot of problems also in between, but I believed in myself. Agi Bakar Mallajile भन्नु भएको थियो नि, like you need to believe in yourself. So I think you all are talented youngsters, like you all have some kind of talent within you. You all have gem within you, but you need to polish that. Hira pani huncha tar त्यो हिरालाई if you don't polish it, it's like it's not expensive, Unless you polish it, it becomes a diamond. त्यसैले you all have quality in you, Like maybe some of you maybe a very good orator, some of you can lead as a politician, some of you must be very good in calculating things, accounts, some of you must be very good in AI also, So I think whatever talent you have within you, you've got to believe and you need to work on that talent, You need to really polish it. So if you polish your talent, if you try to tell आफ्नो भएको भित्रको जुन शक्तिलाई उजागर गर भन्छु के म. So if you do that, then I think that belief will give you confidence. Then you can go ahead. So I also believed in myself. I said, so what, like there's like every time, why only men, so why not I can also lead? Because I think I'm equally very capable also, and I can lead also. So believing in myself, I went a little bit ahead and all. So of course, when you are in your career, you face a lot of challenges also. You have failures also. I also failed several times, even in my business, like I started garment factory. Tibelama, that was in 1989. So when India and Nepal were having treaty problem too. So since I'm not from a business background, my family are also not from a business background. I'm talking about my parents' side, but so it was a big failure. And then, but I was not really taken back, because my father always said, "Hey, bhaiya halcha, so you have to go ahead in life." Even in FNCCI also, so many times doing things also, I think I failed also, but I learned, then I think it made me more brave what I couldn't do. So learning my failures and all, then I started developing new ideas and all. So I think failure is another very, very, you need to take failure as a challenge, as a learning point also, Banera. I want you all to feel. And another thing is success, you all may become like whatever career you are thinking of, you might become professionally CEO or whatever, but I don't consider that a success, just taking and withdrawing salary, income matre bhayera pani, that is not success. Success bhaneko if you can create an impact in the society, if you can create impact in any companies you join. Like आजकल त I think job ko lagi people they hire you and all, but your boss is always wanting you to do something very innovative, thinking like maybe solving problems and all, so those kind of things. So that's why success, I feel that it is impact, what you create in the society, in your office, everywhere, So another thing what I realize is discipline is also very, very important. Of course, like whatever you do, like you have to be disciplined. I always tell my son, if you want to be successful in life, look at me once. So I have that disciplined life, not in business, but what time you get up, after that, what are your morning rituals, afternoon, evening. So disciplined life, if you try to maintain, then I think it's very easy to go ahead also in your career usma. So another thing what I during my career FNCCI, what I felt is like you have to build resilience also, and especially for women. There are times, like when you're trying to be someone, when I'm trying to prove yourself, there are a lot of criticism. I think even men are like rejections, disappointments. But I think you need to build resilience within you, whatever it happens, like I also, a lot of people discouraged me. They said like, when after career, I had to go to all the districts also, Nepal, different districts, we had to convince people and all. It was not easy, So I think for women it's always like you need to tell that I'm capable. So a lot of times I was really ekdam disappointed. I said, why to be a president? But business but the thing which was within me, I always felt that if I reach that position, then other women can also follow me. So I think two kind of resilience that you have to develop within you. Unless you can face that, so many times you have to break the ceiling and all. So there was a lot of barriers when I was trying to reach that position. When I came as a member, it was very easy. One woman out of 80 men. So everyone said, hey, so slowly when I became a vice president, I was fighting for vice president. It was from like I had to fight 1-to-1 fight. So it was not easy, So you had to be really capability to dehaunu parne thyo, So after like the member pachi FNCCI ko adhyaksha bane time samma chai I was like the gender was not there, okay? I feel that there's no gender, only men and women. And I always ask the people, my voters, please vote for me, like not because I'm a woman, but vote for me because I'm a capable human being. I'm a capable person. So just as men lead, I can lead, the same way. And I always feel that women can lead better, Why? Because we are the good managers, We manage home, we manage our parents, we manage after marriage your in-laws and all, and then we can manage this better, So I think because of that, I could reach that position and all. So I feel a lot of youngsters, they are following. And in FNCCI, I used to be only one woman. Now we have about 8 women in that board. And then they also are heading for office bearers positions and all. So I think this is very good that you have to break on, you have to keep on breaking the ceiling unless you reach that position also. And teamwork, of course, is very important. I always believe in my teamwork. I never say, Maile gareko, I did, okay? Even in my office, any institution, I say, hameruko, So it's a teamwork, You give credit to the team. So then you'll always win, wherever you are. And of course, technology, you have to use the technology. हाम्रो बेलामा त technology पनि थिएन. We didn't have internet also. You know, like कति पछि मात्रै mobile phoneहरू आएको हो, internet आएको. So it was very, very difficult. But I think you all are very, very lucky that now technology कहाँबाट कहाँ पुगिसक्यो. And even like, I think the new government is heading for IT center पनि बनाउने, AI center भनेर हैन सुसाथारमा. So I think there are a lot of opportunities also for the youngsters, so you all have to of course really need to use the technology also, whatever. And the last thing what I felt is, to be successful in life is the attitude, you know. That really matters. No matter what background you've come from, maybe you are one of the biggest, richest businessmen को छोराछोरी होस् या एकदमै ठुलो politicians को बच्चाहरू होस् या कुनै पनि नाम चलेको मान्छेको, तर unless your attitude is right, you'll never reach to that position. It doesn't lead your future. So future को success भनेको it's an attitude, you know, how you behave, how you make a team, you know, how you go ahead भन्नेले जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ wherever you reach. Like I'm sure that a lot of, I mean, many of you are planning to stay back to Nepal and start your career. A lot of, I mean, I think you all are planning to go out for the further studies, and maybe working there, you know. So wherever you are, if your attitude is right, you can really reach that position and all. So I would like to tell you all that you all should dream big and always believe in yourself. And never give up, you know. You always follow your dream, never give up, because no matter what difficulties you go through and all, never give up and all, because I think that's the key tool for to be a successful person. And I wish you all the best. Have courage and believe in yourself and never give up and go ahead. You will be successful in life. Thank you.